Judge Mincy, you ready?
You go.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Can you hear us?
Okay, PD Cook, did you talk to him about the people that you need to interview?
Yes, one's a medical reset, and I interviewed the other, so we're ready to go.
All right, which one's a reset?
Let's see. Dwan Hendricks, Hendrex, is a medical reset. That's number 7. And also, there's another
Position number 3, Miss Brody.
Miss Brody. Thank you.
Okay. She's a medical reset. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good afternoon, Your Honor. It's McLean.
Yes.
I have a client. I have 2 clients with whom I can't imagine not doing it in a breakout because of MH concerns.
Okay. Which 2 are those?
That would be Whittington and Ramdular.
RA?
Ramdular.
All right.
In both cases, I believe the family in court.
Families in court on both? Okay.
I hope so.
And if so, you want them to come in the breakout?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll get started. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to begin our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. This is a calendar for cases in which individuals have recently been arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has accused these cases of the offenses brought against them, and the case has been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's initial appearance before a state court judge, so we are able to handle certain matters such as bond, arraignment, and a plea offer if one has been made by the state at this juncture. I'm going to begin by advising everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube, so govern yourselves accordingly. I want to remind the defendants that you have certain constitutional rights, the first being that you have a right to representation at this stage in your case, and you should know who your attorneys are by now, so listen to them. You also have a right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts, the circumstances, and/or the occurrences of your case can and will be held against you. The state is here and they're listening. So again, listen to your attorneys. Looks like our SAP reset date is August the 15th. So we're ready to begin, deputies. Who do we have first?
Position number 8. Ms.
3.
Hill.
I'm sorry?
Position 8.
Oh. Is that Tamika Hill?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This is 24 CR 005369F. She's charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. Pre-trial.
2024 trespass, 2024 FTA, 2023 obstruction, disorderly conduct, 2018 FTA, 2012 shoplifting conviction.
State.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This incident took place on July 30th of this year. The incident location is the Friendship Tower Apartments. It's at 35 Northside Drive. This defendant has an active criminal trespass warning for that property. She came back to it. The employee of the property approached her and asked her to leave, and she refused, and she was arrested. Our office has been in touch with the employee, Ms. Stinson. We've also been in touch with her recently because this defendant was just arrested on the 2nd of July for a criminal trespass at this location as well. She said that she works security at the Friendship Towers. This is a senior citizen high-rise. She states that the defendant often comes there soliciting services of an illegal nature and stealing out of people's apartments. She pled guilty to criminal trespass in that case on July 16th. That's 24 CR 4364C. She was ordered to have no contact with Ms. Stinson and to stay away from that property. Here we are. She is shown back up multiple times after she was released from jail on the 16th, and the security guard finally called the police. She wants no contact and would like the defendant to stay away, as she's been previously ordered. Your Honor, the bond that she received on July 3rd was a $1,000 good bond based on her priors and her criminal history. I would ask for the same in this case, another $1,000 good bond, a stay away from this location, no further contact with Ms. Stinson, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. And I'm not sure if the defense would agree. I think maybe a BHET may be appropriate. Thank you.
All right. This case is this.
This is
Murphy
mine, Your
and-
Honor. Keith Cook.
Okay, okay.
I have no objection, Your Honor, and no objection to the BHAT as well.
All right, I am concerned that she won't stay away. She keeps going back. I don't know what it's going to take. Ms. Hill, you're not to go back there ever. Do you have a relative living there? Can't hear you.
No, ma'am. No, the reason why I went back just to receive my mail, ma'am.
Well, you shouldn't be getting mail from there. Why would you go back there to get your mail?
Because that's where I've been having my mail to go to when I had just moved into a rooming house. And I had my mail to go there, and that's my mistake. And I was intoxicated that day.
Your Honor,
Well-
respectfully, she told police when they were interviewing her on scene that the reason she was there was to get her medication from her ex-boyfriend. Now it's her mail.
But whatever the reason is, you need not go back. I want to double your bond and make it a cash bond since you don't seem to get it, that we don't want you going back there for any circumstances. But I will enter $1,500 good bond. Stay away from Friendship Towers. No further contact with Ms. Stinson, the employee there, anyone there. I'm gonna order BHET, see if there's some services that she may need. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no guns while on bond. That'll be it. Next.
Position number 6.
This is 24 CR 005371Y. Kiara Grinton, charged with 1 count of terroristic threats and acts. Pretrial,
Hey, what was that last bond?
1,500 good.
Grinton 5 total. Resident of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. 2019 battery DB dismissed. 2013 violation of court order. 2012 disorderly conduct conviction. And the 09 simple assault disorderly conduct conviction. That's it.
That's my case, Judge, Ms. Grinton.
Okay. Go ahead, State.
Your Honor, this incident happened around midnight this morning at the Economy Hotel at 4265 Shirley Drive. Officers responded in response to a dispute. Upon arrival, they made contact with the victim in this case, Mario Garza, who is an employee of the hotel. He told police that there was a verbal dispute with the defendant. She was demanding a refund, and he said there was a no refund policy. She got irate, and he called the police to get her to leave the premises. The police were escorting her off the property, and she told the victim in front of the officer that once she gets out of these handcuffs, she's going to come and beat his ass. Our office has been in touch with Mr. Garza today. He did confirm he's an employee at the location. He confirmed the events in the warrant. He said this is the first time he's ever encountered the defendant, and she has now been banned from the property and is on a do not return list. He wants no contact. I would like for her to stay away. Your Honor, she does have some history, and she's a resident, I believe, of a different state. State would request a $1,000 surety bond. No further contact with Mr. Garza. a stay away from the hotel, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And if the court can sound for Mr. Garza. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Garza. I don't think I see him on here. All right, PD Murphy.
Your Honor, I would ask the court to consider a signature bond. My client was housed there by way of DFACS. My client has 8 children, 2 newborn children. She is a single parent. She's age 35. It is correct that she's originally from North Carolina, but she has no other support system. I've reminded her that if the court would give us the grace of a signature bond, that she would not be allowed to return there. She's agreed she would not return there. She did not know Mr. Garza. The dispute was over. She had returned to the hotel, and it appeared that it had been either broken into or rented out to somebody else. And she had her concerns and thought that she had an entitlement to a refund of some sorts, and that's where the disagreement ensued. There was no violent acts towards this person. She has no other resources. She has advised that when she's released, that she has a DFACS case worker, Miss Jackson, and Miss Jackson will get her rehoused at another facility and not at the Economy Inn. But given her lack of resources and the dependents and the children that she's in charge of, I'd ask the court to consider a signature bond under the circumstances.
And you said there are 8 minor children that she's
That's
caring
correct.
for?
Recently had newborn twins, not within the last couple of weeks, but there's 8 children. They're all right now in the care and custody of DFACS, but she was also residing with her children, and DFACS was housing all of them.
At the Economy Inn.
That was my understanding at that time, yes. But it's my understanding they are not there now. I believe DFACS have the 6 children housed, and then the other 2 children, my client will be allowed to reconnect with.
And Your Honor, I would ask if the court's going to consider a signature bond, if it could go through pretrial and have Miss Grinton be subject to anger awareness classes. I think it's warranted here.
Does she work, Mr. Murphy?
She does not at the moment, given the number of children and her lack of transportation.
How's she going to call in to pretrial?
She says upon her release, she does have access to a phone that she'll be able to make contact with pretrial. I did say that if the court would allow that signature bond, that there would be conditions and terms. One of them that she would have to remain in contact with pretrial, and that would require a phone. And she said she had one.
Does she live here?
She has been housed in Fulton County regularly.
Do we have an address for her besides Economy Lodge? Or does she have any relatives here?
She's indicated that she does not have any relatives here. She has a boyfriend that lives in DeKalb County, but we are not clear on his address, and he may not be. He may be incarcerated. The answer was not clear, but there were no additional ties that I could convey to the court as to her a solid address. And she had indicated that she's dependent on DFACS and that they would rehouse her. And so I realized that this does not give us. I'm not singing a very good tune to you, Your Honor, but I want the court to consider under those circumstances that there was no violence here, and I believe that she would stay away and come to court as directed when the time comes.
Your Honor, it sounds like this defendant doesn't have community ties. The hotel that she was housed at, she's been kicked out of now. The boyfriend that she has a contact with is incarcerated, and she's a resident of another state.
She has not been in North Carolina in 7 years. she's indicated.
Well, again, Your Honor, the answers are not very clear here, and there's a concern that she's not going to show back up to court. She also has a previous conviction for disorderly conduct and simple assault. I understand she also has a battery arrest. I understand that was dismissed, but it was fairly recent. I think a surety bond is probably most appropriate in this case, Judge.
All right, I'm gonna order the $1,000 surety bond. I'm going to order for her to stay away from the Economy Inn 4265 Shirley Drive. No further contact with the employee there, Mario Garza. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons while on bond. I'm going to order that she continue with any defects, requirements of reunification with her children, as well as whatever they require of her to maybe get help with her housing. And I'm going to order BHET so you all can speak with her or have your social workers to talk to her to find out if there's any other services that can be offered. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no guns while on bond. That's it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mm.
That's all I have.
Oh, that's all? Okay. See you next time.
Thank you.
Number, position number 1.
Okay, this is Terrence Barrow, 24 CR 00538808, charged in 1 count of theft by taking, state. I'm sorry, pretrial.
34. I think he got no bond and felony earlier. I got an open case, criminal damage to property, possession of tools, burglary, 23 CP 219203. Couple of probation violations from last year. Got a 2015 burglary, 3 counts, criminal damage to property conviction, another 2015 burglary conviction, which probably led to the no bond and felony. That's it.
Okay.
Your Honor,
State.
this incident took place back in March, on March 6th at a residence at 1094 Sims Street. The victim in this case is Siobhan Pittman. She reported a theft to police after observing her security camera footage that shows the defendant and another male coming onto her property and removing a water bottle and the trash can from her driveway. The defendant is a well-known burglary suspect in the area. He also went through her trash and took several items of her trash. Obviously, the state's not pursuing charges on that. But what is of note is that he's seen on camera attempting to enter the home of this victim using a small metal item, and he was unable to get inside. And once he was unable to get inside, he stole her trash can and the water bottle. Your Honor, this defendant, pretrial states, from my count, he's got 4 open felony cases that all took place. The incident dates, one's in 2023. The others are from June 18th of this year to present, where he has forced entry into occupied homes and stolen several items. There were small children in some of these homes. He was stealing TVs, bedroom items, towels, subwoofers, internet routers, forks and knives, appliances. I am not surprised that he did not receive a bond in felony court, given all of the cases that he has pending against him. In addition to his open burglary cases, Your Honor, he has 6 convictions for burglary that stem from 1993 to present. The most recent, besides his open cases, of course, is in 2015. He has several probation violations. Your Honor, this defendant is going to reoffend. Frankly, the state is requesting in this case a $5,000 good bond, a stay away from 1094 Sims Street, no further contact with Ms. Pittman, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. We have not been in touch with Ms. Pittman today. If the court could stand for her this time, thank you.
All right. PD.
Yes, Your Honor. In light of his situation in felony court, I believe he got a no bond this morning. I'm going to leave this up to the court's discretion.
Okay. Going to order a $1,500 surety bond. Going to order stay away from 1094 Sim Street. No further contact with Siobhan Pittman. No drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, no guns while on bond.
Position number 2.
All right. Ricky Beard, 24 CR 005374B. Charge of 1 count of no insurance and driving a motor vehicle on a suspended or canceled registration.
24. 2023 probations, 2018 FTA, 2014 FTA, jail.
All right. State.
Judge, I'm showing he is. Well, I'll go into that. Do you have the DUIs and all of that, Mr. Howard?
I don't know. I have to look it up.
Okay. Your Honor, this is an incident that occurred yesterday. An officer ran a tag through GCIC and it came back with no insurance and suspended registration. The officer initiated a traffic stop around 5955 Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Your Honor, this defendant has 3 prior DUIs and 4 prior driving on suspended license. He appears to, I think, have his probation was just revoked in another case. I imagine that's why he doesn't have insurance or registration. He already has a $500 surety bond on the no insurance and a $100 surety bond on the suspended registration. I would just ask that the bond remain as it's currently set with a condition that there's to be no driving without a valid license or insurance or registration, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol out on bond. Thank you.
And you said that he has an existing 500 surety bond on the no insurance. And did you say 100 on the registration?
Yes, 100 on
Okay.
the registration. Mhm.
Okay. All right. PD whom?
That's me, Your Honor.
Okay.
Here we go. In and out. There we go.
Mm.
Your Honor, my client is 42. He's lived in the Atlanta area for about 15 years. He's been working for about 13 years as a forklift driver. I believe my client tells me this was his mother's car and was not familiar with all the problems associated with it. We would be asking for a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate. Obviously, also, certainly, he has to have all the appropriate credentials to drive.
He doesn't have a great history. Is he from Georgia?
I believe he told me he was from Tennessee, Your Honor. He's been here about 15 years. So,
His last arrest in Tennessee, Your Honor, was from 2002. The rest of his history from 2012 to present is from Georgia.
All right. I will keep that 600. Looks like it's a $600 signature bond through jail. 500 on the insurance, 1,000 on the registration. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And no driving without, and this got to be all of it, the proper license, insurance, and registration. He must have all of those.
Your Honor, he currently has a surety bond. You said you're gonna keep the signature bond. Can you
Oh,
clarify?
I'm sorry. I
the
mean,
two
keep the
signature bond?
surety bond. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I said,
thank you.
yeah, just
Yep.
keep the $600 surety bond. I'm sorry.
What's the total bond? I'm sorry.
600 surety.
Okay.
Yeah. I was keeping it the same and I meant to say
Mhm.
surety.
Good, Missy. So you said 500 on number one.
It's 500 on the insurance and 100 on the registration. Is that what it is already?
Yeah,
No,
it's
Miss-
currently what's on the jailing screen. That's what I saw when I looked it up.
I could barely hear you, Mr. Jordan.
You want number two to be 100?
Still can't hear you.
Oh.
It's correct on the jail screen, Judge. It's
I'm sorry?
500. It's correct. 500 on the insurance and 800 on the driving. It's a total of 600.
Okay.
I was just checking because you said 1,000, that you wanted to be 100.
I meant 100. I said that all wrong. Let me start over. First of all, keeping it the same, and the same that it is, I believe, is 500 and 100. So it's a total of 600 surety. Is that correct?
I got it.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
Number 4, Mr. Carl.
Okay. Twenty-four CR 005372J, Michael Carr, charged with 1 count of theft by shoplifting, a 2nd count of criminal trespass. Pretrial?
Third arrest. I think I saw 2 shoplifting arrests from this year.
Okay.
Your Honor, this incident took place yesterday at the Target at 3535 Peachtree Road. The officers made contact with loss prevention, who had the defendant in custody. He was seen on surveillance camera stealing $21.82 worth of various groceries, energy drinks, yogurt, chocolate, soda, snacks, etc. Target has issued this defendant a criminal trespass warning on April 27th of this year, and he was back at the location. Loss prevention also told police that this defendant is a repeat shoplifter from Target stores. Pretrial is correct. He has 3 cycles total. All 3 of them are shoplifting. It appears his last arrest was June 28th of this year for shoplifting in Lithonia. He also has a shoplifting that appears to be pending in municipal court from March of this year. Given his history, Your Honor, the state would request a $1,000 good bond, a stay away from all targets in Fulton County, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And that would be, I'm sorry, a $1,500 good bond, $1,000 on the shoplifting, $500 on the criminal trespass. Thank you.
All right. PD Cook?
Your Honor, my client is 35 years old. He has lived here his entire life. He's not employed at the moment and has no income. We would be asking for a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate, and no objection to the other conditions of bond.
Okay. I'm going to order the $1,500 good bond, 1,000 on the shoplifting, 500 on the criminal trespass. Stay away from all targets in Fulton County. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I believe that's it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Position number 5.
24 CR 005381G, Robert Griffin, charged with 1 count of loiter and prowling, 2nd count of theft by taking, and 3rd count of criminal trespass. Pretrial?
You got over 50. 2024 possession of tools, 2 counts. Obstruction, possession of drug-related objects. It's 24 PI 001381. 2024 probation, 2022 theft by taking. 2019 FTA, 2019 FTA trespass, obstruction, theft by taking conviction. 2018 probation, 17 FTA, trespass, theft by taking conviction, 2016 trespass obstruction conviction. Got a drug conviction from 2016, 2013 and 14 burglary conviction. That's it.
Your Honor, this incident took place July 31st of this year at the Radius Recycling Center, 897 Adamson Street. Officers responded to a theft/prowler call. The security on site advised that the defendant was seen stealing copper pipes and then throwing those pipes over the fence and then jumping over the fence. When the police arrived, they found the defendant in between the train cars and later found the shopping cart that the defendant was seen to have on camera after he jumped the fence. Your Honor, there is a previous incident involving this defendant at this same incident location from February. I don't believe he was arrested. However, the security advised that he was issued a criminal trespass warning from February 26th of this year when he was seen prowling in the middle of the night there. Again, I don't believe he was arrested as a result of that incident, but this is the second incident now. As pretrial said, Judge, this defendant has several prior convictions for theft by taking. Our office has transferred all of his theft cases to Superior Court since 2017. We have made a request for this case to also be transferred to Superior Court. We just haven't heard back yet. I expect that it will be accepted based on this defendant's extensive criminal history. In addition to what pretrial stated, he also was arrested yesterday for an open FTA in his open felony case, which is 24 PI 1381. And as far as theft by taking goes, I've counted in Fulton County, he has 7 prior convictions for theft by taking. The state is requesting a $2,000 good bond on each count, a stay away from the Radius Recycling Center, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. Thank you.
All right. PD Cook.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 58 years old. He's lived in the Atlanta area in Georgia for 30 years. He is on disability, has a very modest income. We would ask, we have no objection to the conditions. We would ask for a surety bond as low as possible. Certainly no more than $1,500.
All right. I will order a $1,500 surety bond, 500 on each count, should be 3 counts. Stay away from the recycling center at 897 Adamson. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I guess that's it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Number 10.
'24 CR 005376J. I don't know if that's Jorge or George Montillery. Charge at 1 count of battery family violence and 2nd count of simple battery family violence. Pre-trial.
6 total. 2024 battery. That's open. 24 CR 004551J. And another charge for a fake charge or for transfers fixes. 2009 DUI conviction. And an open forgery out of the cab. Yeah, that's it.
Your Honor, that's my case.
Okay.
This is an incident from the 31st of July. The defendant does have an open battery against a gentleman at a bar, Kevin Horn. He's currently on bond for that. He's got a $3,000 surety bond. That's an incident from June of this year. He has a prior simple battery conviction out of Gwinnett, a DUI conviction you just heard about, and an open forgery as well. The victim in this case, his name is Ana Quinones. She is on the Zoom, I believe, so if you would sound for her when appropriate. Police responded to the location, 621 North Highland Avenue, number 11. where the victim reported that she had been thrown to the ground and then punched in the head by the defendant. She complained of pain to her arm and there was visible bruising to her forehead. We've spoken to the victim. She reported that they're in a relationship and were living together but share no children. She reported this is not the first time that violence has occurred, but the first time she's called the police and that she is in fear. So we would request a stay away from the location and no contact, Your Honor. The address again is 621 North Highland Avenue. Ana is spelled A-N-A. Quiñones is Q-U-I-N-O-N-E-S.
And what was your bond recommendation?
We'd be asking for a $3,000 surety, Your Honor. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as well.
Okay. All right, PD, is it McLean?
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor. Video on. I did tap to speak. So is the video on? Very good.
All
Your Honor, he is, I believe his brother may be on if he has anything to add, but we
Oh,
would
and I'm
ask.
sorry. Hold on, Mr. McLean. Is the victim on? I was gonna get her to go before you. I'm sorry.
Sure.
I don't see anyone with that name, Miss.
I'm
Yeah.
here.
Okay, I see. Do you wish to address the court today? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, all right. You can mute yourself and we'll keep moving. Go ahead, PD McLean.
Your Honor, I spoke to my client over the phone. He will certainly be able to stay away from the location that the court orders. He will make other arrangements. He has family. He is local to the Atlanta area, and he has a job. He works, so he'll be able to comply. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond because it is a one-count case, and we understand that the state has alleged that excuse me, that this is simply the first time she's called the police, but we'd ask the court to consider that.
It's 2 counts, Mr. McLean, and he's got a bond he's in violation of, I would argue, since he's violated the law.
Yeah. There's 2 counts. 1 count of battery, family violence. 2nd count is simple battery.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't have that paperwork. I had the paperwork that just indicated 1.
And you said he's how old?
He is 43 years old, Your Honor.
And you said, what did you tell me about work?
Oh, he has a job. Juan, his brother, may be on. Is Juan on the video? Can say what the job is exactly?
Yes.
Hold on. You're not going to be allowed to talk unless I can see you.
Very good.
And I would swear you in first, but I don't know that I need him to tell me that.
Right.
He has a job. Okay, because he's not a witness or a victim, to my knowledge.
He's got a regular full-time job. I didn't write down the details, but he's been on that job apparently for a while, because it did sound I had all these folks and just didn't write down the details of what the job was exactly.
Okay.
And like I said, he is local, so he'll be able to make court, and his family will make sure he does.
Okay. I'm going to order the $3,000 surety bond, and he'll have to deal with the other bond that'll be revoked, obviously. $1,500 on each for $3,000 surety. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Stay away from 621 North Highland. And no further contact with the victim in the case, which is Aniku Quinones, I believe.
It's Ana Quiñones, Your Honor.
Ana Quinones. No further contact with her. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond.
You want to know how will he be able to get things from the house?
Once he makes bond, I will order a one-time law enforcement escort to return to the property to get some of his personal items. But it must be escorted by law enforcement, not by himself.
What was that total?
3,000, 1,500 each. All right, ready to move on?
Number 11,
This is 24 CR 005377F. This is Jelani Morrow, charged with 2 counts of battery family violence, 3rd count reckless conduct, 4th discharge of a firearm on or near public highway or street, and the 5th count of reckless conduct. Pre-trial.
11 total. 2022 theft by conversion, no low. 2022 probation, 2021 probation. 2019 public intoxication. 2019 disorderly conduct. 2019 FTA. 2018 ag assault first offender. 2011 and 12 FTA.
All right.
Your Honor, this is my case. The defendant did complete first offender for an aggravated assault in 2018 incident. The victim's name in that case is Ashley Peters. So I would argue that it is domestic violence, or at least violence against a woman. This incident in front of you is a delayed arrest. So initial report by the victim in March of this year as she stood on the side of the road. Her name is Demisha Cotton Morrow. Demisha is spelled Dimesha. Cotton, common spelling, dash Morrow. Police were called to the area where this occurred, which is Arthur Langford and Lakewood Avenue, where they found the victim standing on the side of the road. She had visible injuries. This was about 11 p.m. in April. She reported she and her husband had been driving home and he was intoxicated and started to talk about how he can get all the women. And so she said, "You should probably go do that then." He yelled and screamed at her to stop the vehicle, which she did. He tried to pull her out of the vehicle and was unsuccessful initially, but then walked over to where she was driving the vehicle and tried to yank her out. She attempted to get her firearm, which was between the door and the seat where she was sitting. He bit her on her shoulder, bit her on her face, and then dragged her from the vehicle on the side of the road where he struggled with her over the firearm. He discharged this firearm during that struggle and then took the vehicle and fled the location, leaving her on the side of the road. The victim was spoken with by police and transported to Zone 3, where they photographed her injuries and documented what had happened. She was interviewed by a family violence detective, or they tried to reach out to her, I should say, and she was not successfully contacted. It's, I guess, arguable that these two have been together since. I believe they're married. Review of the body cam, as well as any prior incidences, the report and photographs of her injuries where she was on the side of the road were reviewed and a warrant was obtained. So this warrant was issued in May of this year after an April incident. He was just picked up on July the 31st. Our office has been in touch with the victim. She reported that they're married. Evidently, he told her after the fact that maybe somebody put something in his drink, which made him act this way. There's never been any violence, and she's not in fear. Your Honor, the state has concerns not just about the safety of Mrs. Cotton Morrow based on the allegations, the fact that police had to go get her on the side of the road. She'd been left there and that this involved a firearm. So we're concerned about her safety, but also the safety of the public, Your Honor. And we would argue that this is a delayed arrest, not a delayed report. And that means, like in many cases of domestic violence, there's time for these folks to get back together and feel like maybe they've worked it out, but there continues to be an issue as far as the state's concerned. So we would ask for no further contact and to stay away from her for a period of time. We would ask as well for an $8,000 surety bond, Your Honor, and for the defendant to surrender any firearms, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And of course, Ms. Cotton Morrow is on the sound for her. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Cotton Morrow, Demisha.
Yes, I'm here.
Hold on,
So,
hold on.
uh-huh,
Do you wish to speak to the court? Yes or no?
yes.
Turn on your camera for me. Where are you?
Can you
Oh,
see me?
Misha. Oh, is that Misha? Okay.
I'm sorry.
Raise, I just see that, I just saw the name. Raise your
Oh.
right hand. I need to swear you in first. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes,
All right. Are you in fear of Mr. Jelani Morrow?
no,
Do you still want to have contact with Mr. Morrow?
yes. We have a child together.
Okay. How old?
2.
Well, that child can't speak for himself. Are you all married?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. Any cross-examination by either opposing counsel of the state or PD's office?
Just one brief question. Ms. Cotton Morrow, is it your position today that this incident didn't happen or that you feel like things are okay and this was out of character?
So yes, that did not happen. So the officer that showed up, he actually called it in like we was out there shooting. No, that did
Okay,
not happen.
that's enough. I don't need to hear
Okay,
anymore.
okay.
So the statement you made to our office earlier today that somebody had maybe put something in his drink to make him act that way,
Yes.
is that still your position?
Mm-hmm.
And are you saying that when police arrived on the scene, both of you were there or just you and he were there?
Okay, say that again.
When police arrived on the scene, were you by yourself on the side of the road or was your husband there?
Yes, I was there by myself because I told him to go.
Okay, thank you.
All right, PD McLean.
No further questions, Your Honor, just argument.
Okay. All right, you can mute yourself. Miss I didn't write your last name down. Miss Cotton
Morrow.
Morrow. Okay. I knew it was something other than Morrow, just Cotton Morrow. Okay.
Correct.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead, PD McLean.
Your Honor, Jelani Morrow works at a company called UAC, which fabricates airplane parts. They stretch the alloy. Sound like an interesting process. He has a regular full-time job involving technical matters. He's a skilled worker. It's a full-time job. I did talk with her earlier on the phone. When I called his brother, she called me back and asked her, about the fear and about the contact desires. And she is consistent saying, I want contact with him. I have no fear. So we would ask the court to consider a signature bond. And I did have the same information from her about their belief about he was slipped a Mickey or a roofie or whatever they call him.
But he was driving a car?
No, I don't know who was driving the car.
I believe the victim was driving the car, Your Honor, and I believe she was the 911 caller as she was left on the side of the road with visible injuries.
Well, if she was driving, who drove the car away if she was left on the side of the road?
He left her on the side of the road after the firearm discharged while he was trying to unarm her or disarm her after he bit her.
And then he
She's
drove
telling
away.
the court today that she told him to leave.
Oh, but if he'd been slipped something, he was still able to drive. That's what I'm asking. Make sure I understand the facts. Okay. I'm going to order the 8,000 surety. which would be 1, 2, 3. Which would be on the 2 battery family violence charges, 1,000. And then 2,000 on the discharge of the firearms. That's 3. I'm sorry, go back. My math is not adding up. So 2,000 on each of the batteries is 2, 4, 6. All right, 2,000 on each of the batteries, 2,000 on the discharge of the firearms is a total of 6, and 1,000 on each of the reckless conduct charges. So that would be 8.
Your Honor, can I speak?
Depends. This is not the trial. Don't really want to hear any more about the facts. He has 11 priors. Doesn't have a good criminal history, which is also part of my ruling. And those are the things that I look at as well. So I'm going to order the 8,000 surety. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. If he has any more guns, he needs to turn them over immediately to the property of the Fulton County Sheriff's Department. And he shouldn't have any guns in his possession while on bond. And I don't know about this no further contact or no further violent contact. This is state's recommendation.
Your Honor, we requested no further contact. We're going to leave that to the discretion of the court, obviously.
It has been
Based on the demeanor of the victim, who is shaking her head and doesn't seem to think it's a problem that firearms are discharged in public as a result of this kind of behavior between the two of them. I'm guessing they're not going to follow the court's order.
Yeah, she could have been shot. And I know it happened later or farther back, but I am concerned about the safety of her and a 2-year-old. If they both have firearms or she has firearms. So I don't know if there's been a cooling down period or not. The problem is go ahead.
He's definitely asking for the court to consider no further violent contact.
Is he going to turn in his firearms?
I could double check with him on that. If the court orders it, he certainly is going to follow court orders.
All right, I'll put it as no further violent contact. And I guess I don't have an address on a stay away, or we won't order the stay away, but certainly he's got to turn in any firearms, and no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons while on bond. And that should do it.
Very good.
Number 12.
This is 24 CR 0053788F. Nicholas Ramdiller, charged with 1 count of reckless conduct, a 2nd charge of discharging a firearm in or near public highway or street.
Your Honor, that's one of the 2 cases where I mentioned that it would be best for us to go into a breakout with the
Oh, I'm sorry.
The state, the family.
Yes, okay. Can you put us in a breakout with the family, please?
I believe the family is going to be Mr. Ramdullar.
I see that it's so Serena Ramdiller.
Oh, okay.
I see a Rebecca Ramdiller. Who is that?
Rebecca is his mother. I believe his father's name is perhaps Neil. Let me find that.
See there with Serena?
Nicholas.
Dad, okay.
Start with an A. Nicholas and Rebecca are his parents, and probably his sister may be there as well.
All right, you got it, Ms. Lewis.
That's just,
Do we want to hear from pretrial first?
you may want to do that.
All right, pretrial, go ahead, and then we'll go into the breakout.
First.
First, okay. All right, put us in a breakout, please. Whose case on the PD side?
That'll be me.
Mr. McLean, you want anybody else to come in with you?
If Mr. Cook would like to join, that'd be fine, if he's got time.
Okay, ASG Allen, this is your case. Anybody else come in with you? Okay. I'm sorry, is Miss Lewis my Zoom master?
Yes, I am today.
Yes, I thought I heard your voice. Can you